All right, welcome to Friday Night Hockey. 2011 Blues take on Omaha Mastery tonight in the first of four games this weekend. Blues will start with Stefanski, Wessel, and Blanchard at forward, Peterson and Rubis on defense. Omaha takes the face off, curls back into their own zone, and deflects up into the bench. Face off in the neutral zone. Oh, we're going to bring it back into the Omaha zone to the left of their goalie. Face off tied up, deflects towards the goal, and it's covered by the goalie. Another face off to his left. Face off won by Omaha into the corner. They run around the boards. Pinched by Peterson, but it bounces past him. Omaha breaks out of the zone. Rubis pushes his guy, tries to push him wide. Piansky clears out to Blanchard. Blanchard chips it out of the zone, and he and Wessel go after the forecheck. Blanchard pushes Omaha defenseman back in. Wessel knocks down the pass. Finds Batansky one-timer, saved by the goalie. Rebound hops over Blanchard's stick. Wessel's got it on the near boards. Gets it back to Peterson at the point. Saved by the goalie. Blues are going for a change. Rubis kicks it back into the zone, but Wessel is still inside, so it's offside on the Blues. Full change. Blues send out Bugner, Zilm, and Boyer with Brooks and Smith. Bugner wins the draw. They go D to D. Boyer, Brooks, back to Smith. Up to Zilm, who tips it into the. Oh, no, he decides he didn't tip it, and it's icing on the Blues. Face off, won by Omaha, but Malachi jumps the puck, gets it up to Boyer, and they're in the zone. Thrown at the goal by Boyer, and the goalie covers. Face off to his right. No change in personnel for the Blues. Hugner wins the draw to the wing. Kept in there by Brooks. Omaha clears the zone, carries the center ice, and dumped in deep. Malachi Smith to go get it with a forechecker. He takes a hit along the far boards, gets it up to Zim, who tries to tip it out of the zone, held in at the blue line by Omaha, and Zim gets it out back to center ice. Good hit there by Tyson Boyer as Omaha dumped it deep into the blue zone. Tie up over along the boards. Junior Zim and Smith pops out to Linus Brooks, carries around his own net, skates out. Goes up to Ian Bowers, who gets it deep, and they'll chase after on the forecheck. Blues are going for a change, move forward onto the ice. Omaha dumps it into the blue zone, no icing. Miniman's got it, goes around to Komodowski. Stopped by Bowers and tipped out of the zone by Crowley. Omaha D to D up the center ice. That's picked off by Bowers. Omaha swings behind their net, goes D to D up to the wing, pass to the center. He's got speed up the ice, gets around Miniman. Saved by Luke. Big save by Skip Pieko. Face off to his right. Blues send out Giorgio, Schneider, and Harris with Miniman and Komodowski. Face off won by Giorgio. Miniman behind his net around the boards. Tomo puts it forward to Harris and gets it up to Schneider. Schneider dumps it deep. Chases after it with Giorgio. Deflects off Schneider. Harris retrieves it. Goes to Komodowski at the point. He goes back to Harris. Harris drops it for Giorgio. Back around the corner with Harris. He reverse hits the defender. Puck's tied up behind the net. Giorgio in the help. Pinched by Komodowski, and Schneider holds it in. His shot's blocked to the corner, and it's out of the zone by Omaha. Lenneman back into his own zone, and we are going to have an interference call on Komodowski. So the Blues will go on an early penalty kill here. They send out Giorgio and Blanchard with Peterson and Rubis. Face off to Luke's left. Minute and a half penalties tonight. Quick shot off the face off goes well high. Omaha regathers. Another shot from the points knocked down by Rubis. To Giorgio, he gets it across center ice, dodges a hit. He's heavy on the forecheck here. Defenseman curls away and into the blue zone. Rubis separates it from the puck, and they have it. Omaha hops over the defenseman's stick and down into their own zone. Giorgio on the pressure. He goes behind the net. Blanchard picks up the puck. Good job here by this forward tandem, keeping the puck deep in the Omaha zone. Giorgio's coming off for a change. Spatansky will hop on the ice. Long pass by Omaha, deflects off the stick, out of the zone by Peterson. Another pass, pushed out of the zone by Peterson, and Omaha dumps it deep. Rubis back to get it. He goes up the board, so Wesley's on for Blanchard. And Omaha has to reset into their own zone again. Up the center ice, carried over the blue line. That pass off of Wesley's shin pad. Spatansky picks up a loose puck, and he gets it out of the zone. Not far enough for icing. And the penalty is over. Komodowski's out of the box. Centering pass blocked by Smith. Comes out to the blue line and out of the zone. Omaha regroups in their own zone. Pass behind the forward. Picked off by Crowley. Crowley dumps it deep. Chased by he and Kugner. Up along the boards. Good pinch there by Malachi Smith. He's got the puck. Centers it to Kugner, but it was between his legs. And now Omaha with a clearance up the middle. Sends him in on a breakaway and he shoots it wide. Kugner up and caught by the defenseman. Kugner hits him out of the zone. And Omaha dumps it deep again into the blue zone. Brooks to retrieve it. He goes up the boards looking for Boyer, who had already broken out, and that'll be offsides on Omaha. Face off at the center ice. Blues have Kugner, Zillman, Boyer out with Miniman and Kamadowski. Face off tied up and won by Omaha back into their own zone. Boyer and Kugner in on the forecheck. Hit there by Boyer, separates the man from the puck. Thrown up, held at the hot sideboards. Boyer hits another Omaha player. D to D, and Miniman dumps it deep. Boyer back in on the forecheck. They reverse it up to the wing. Wing chips it, picked off by Miniman. He tries to swing it out of the zone, but it's held in. Good back check there by Zilm. He gets it up the wing to Boyer. Boyer will backhand over to Miniman, who carries through center ice into the Omaha zone. He dumps it deep, and the Blues are going for a change. Bounces on net and is covered after crush it from Crowley. And we'll have a face-off to the Omaha goalies left. Crowley, Bowers, and Bauer out with Peterson and Rubens. Face-off won by Omaha. They go around the far boards. Good hustle by Bowers. Backhands it behind the net. Past Bauer, though. Another quick outlet and a good keep by Rubis. Goes deep into the Omaha zone again. That puck's held in on the sideboard by Bauer. He gets it to Crowley. Crowley to Peterson, over to Rubis. Rubis throws it on net. It's tipped just wide by Crowley. Omaha goes to the wing again, and they go back behind their net. Bowers gets a piece of that exit pass. Held in here by Bauer and Bowers. Back around the net. They try to reverse it again, and it's covered by the goalie. Face-off coming to his left. Blues send out Giorgio, Harris, and Schneider with Brooks and Malachi Smith. Face-off won by the Blues. Harris to Schneider shot goes just wide. Harris picks it up. He tries to backhand it up to Brooks. Gets picked off. Omaha tries to dump it deep. Blues still have possession of the puck. Harris to Giorgio, up the board to Schneider. He gets hit at center ice. He and Giorgio are battling for the puck at center ice. Blues gain control, back to Smith, over to Brooks. Brooks to Giorgio. He tips it into the zone, takes a cross check, goes into the corner, throws it to the center, goes all the way across to Harris, who maintains control, skates behind the net, goes off the boards to Brooks. Brooks fakes a one-timer, gets around his man, shoots it wide of the net, comes back to the other point to Smith, but it sneaks past him. Smith over to Harris, up to Brooks, and Brooks will flip it into the Omaha zone. Schneider in on the forecheck while the rest of the group changes. Spatansky coming in. Flipped out of the zone by Omaha. Wessel's there. They try to dump it deep and hit their own player. Finally get it into the blue zone. It's picked up by Kamadowski. He goes off the boards to Spatansky, who tips it into the zone. Kansky is tied up in the corner with an Omaha player. Wessel comes over to help him. They go up the wing, find the center to break out of the zone, carry into the Blues zone. Blues have numbers. Over to the far point. This guy's going to shoot from everywhere. Saved by Luke. Puck goes into the corner. Tomodaski gets it, retrieves it, goes up the wing to Wessel. Wessel tries to find Blanchard on the breakout and it's picked off back into the blue zone. Tomodaski back to Miniman. Miniman up the wing to Blanchard. He tips it into the zone and the Blues are going to go for another change. Dumped into the blue zone by Omaha right on goal. Luke deflects it to Tomodaski, who gets tied up with a forechecker. Picked up by Fugner. He goes to Boyer on the wing, and the Blues have numbers here. Boyer carries it. He's got Peterson front. Can't find him. Carries around the net. Tries to go back door to Fugner just out of his reach. Goes to Peterson at the point. Fugner's got the puck. He skates to the center of the ice. Finds Zilm. That shot's blocked. Peterson picks it up. Shoots it just wide of the post. Goes to the far point. Another shot wide by Rubis. Comes out to Peterson again. He'll throw it on net. Stopped by the goalie and held on. A little bit of sustained pressure there for the Blues, who have Hubner, Boyer, and Film on the ice right now with Peterson and Rubis. Face off won by Hubner. He tries to throw it deep, hits Boyer. When he does get it deep, Omaha rims it around, tipped out of the zone. Hubner will go back into his own zone to retrieve the puck. He tries to back in at the Peterson and takes a hit in his own zone. Gets it over to Rubis, though, who spins away from the check. Gets it out of the zone up to Boyer. Boyer tips it past the defenseman, but a little too far. He goes into the corner to retrieve it. Spins away, back into the corner. He's got Crowley in the middle, goes to the point for Rubis, over to Brooks at the other point. That's tipped in by Crowley. Shot towards the net by Brooks, and Crowley tips it far post for the goal. Crowley from Brooks and Rubis. One nothing Blues. 4:44 left in the first period. Face off won by the Blues, who have Crowley, Bowers, and Bauer on the ice. Dumped deep by Crowley, chased after by Bowers. Omaha rims it around, held in at the sideboards, up out to the point. Brooks throws it deep again. Their D tries to go up again. It's tipped all the way down. This will go far enough for icing. So again, the Blues have Crowley, Bowers, and Bauer on the ice with Smith and Brooks. Face off won by Crowley. Bauer goes back to Smith. Smith back to Bauer. Good pressure there by Omaha, and they get the puck out of the zone. Carried in by Omaha. Backhanded through the slot. Nobody there for Omaha. Bowers tries to backhand it into the middle of the ice, and it's picked off. Chipped out by Bowers. Kept in by the defenseman. Scramble at center ice. Into the corner for Omaha. Shot towards the net. It's deflected just wide. Bowers takes another hit and backhands it out of the zone. Bauer, shoulder to shoulder with the Omaha player, who comes away with the puck. He goes up the ice, and Omaha will dump it deep and go for a change. Tomodaski with the puck. He looks up the ice, finds Schneider, who tips it towards Harris. Harris maintains control into the zone. He finds Giorgio, who tries to get it back to Schneider, and it gets knocked down. Puck is chipped around Tomodaski and carried into the blue zone. Shot well high of the net again. Amendoski's got the puck. It's knocked off his stick to Giorgio. Giorgio up the wing to Harris, who backhands it into the zone. Schneider in on the forecheck. He's got Harris with him. Comes out to the far point. The Miniman tipped towards the net. Hits a defender. Punched into the corner by Omaha. Out to the point to Miniman again. Blocked by a defenseman. Thrown into the corner by Komodowski. Comes all the way around to Giorgio. He cuts to the center of the ice, tries to find Harris, and it's tipped away. Good hit there by Giorgio. Carried into the blue zone by Omaha. Taken away by Miniman, who goes up the boards to Harris. Giorgio's with him along the boards. And we've got coincidental minors coming. Giorgio for the Blues and 96 for Omaha. Coincidental roughing minors. So we'll stay at 5v5. Blues send up Spatansky, Wessel, and Blanchard with Rubis and Peterson. Face off won by the Blues. Peterson goes to Rubis behind the net. He tries to go to Blanchard. Defenseman pinches and lifts his stick. Puck is into the zone, but they don't call offside. Shot out by Omaha, and Rubis dumps it deep, goes around the boards to Wessel. He throws it behind the net with Blanchard, but the defenseman comes in, kicks it with his skate. They move up out of the zone. He's got to step again. This defenseman likes to carry the puck. Rubis takes a hit, chips it out of the zone. Wessel in on the forecheck. Good pressure there. Puck's taken by Blanchard. He goes back to Wessel, then finds Rubis, whose shot is blocked into the corner, and Omaha will throw it down the ice for icing. Blues send out a fresh five with Hugner, Boyer, Zilm, and Brooks and Smith on defense. 1:23 left in the first. Face off won by the Blues. Out to Brooks. He throws it towards the net, and it's blockered into the corner. Picked up by Boyer. He's got a guy draped all over him. They reverse into the far corner and picked up by the winger, who just flings it down the ice to Brooks. He picks it up, goes across the ice to Smith, back to Brooks. Into the zone by Omaha. Smith back to retrieve it. He will go around the far wing, held in there by the defense. Brooks tries to chip it past the forechecker, doesn't get it by him, but Smith, with a good stick lift, takes over the puck, gets it up to Boyer on the wing. He's going to carry into the Omaha zone. Passes his defenseman, throws it to the center, nobody there. Behind the net, held in by Smith at the point. He fires it off the goalie's pad and to the near boards. They carry it out of the zone. Guy takes a hit from two Blues. Bowers puck gets kicked off his stick into the Blues zone, picked up by Komodowski. He carries through the center of the ice. His pass is deflected and held in. Bauer picks it up. He gets it up to Crowley, who tries to clear, stuck it, held in at center ice, and flipped back into the Blues zone, and that'll do it for the first period. Blues with a 1-0 lead. All right, we're back here for the second period. Blues will start with Crowley, Bauer, and Bowers. Komendowski and Miniman on the blue line. And here we go. Face off. Taken forward by Omaha, thrown on net. Scannapieco steers it over to Miniman, who goes to Komendowski. He circles back, tries to backhand it over to Miniman, and it's picked off. Bauer goes back to get it. His clearance is held in, and Omaha's got possession. Bowers picks it up. He goes to Bauer, who flips it up off the glass to Crowley. He's into the zone, circles behind the net with a man on his shoulder. Up to the point to Komendowski. He can't hold it in. Throws it back in, offside. Fresh legs on the ice for the Blues. Giorgio, Schneider, Harris, Rubis, and Peterson. Tied up and played back to the Omaha defense. They throw it into the Blue zone. He's not going to go deep enough for icing. Picked up by Rubis. He goes up the wing to Harris. Harris finds Schneider. He's separated from the puck and it's backhanded into the Blue zone. Shot out by Peterson. Rubis over to the near boards. He flips it out of the zone. Played back in offside by Omaha. Same five on the ice for the Blues. Face off, won by Giorgio, back to Peterson, who goes over to Rubis. Rubis goes up the board looking for Schneider, but it's out of his reach and will go down for an icing. Face off, tied up. Good battle by Schneider. He pops off the boards to Giorgio. He goes over to Harris. Harris gains the red line and the blue line into Omaha's zone. He circles towards the net, goes out, tries to go to Rubis, and it's picked off by an Omaha forward. He spins it, and Omaha's got a breakaway up the center of the ice. Good job by Rubis to come back, and a huge pad save by Luke Scannapieco. Unbelievable save right there. And the Blues throw it down the ice on net, so no icing. Omaha back into the Blues zone. Rubis goes into the corner with an Omaha forward. They're tied up there. Giorgio takes a high hit. Rubis pins his guy to the board, maintains possession, and takes a late hit. Gets it over to Blanchard, though. Blanchard up to Wessel. Wessel's got Malachi Smith with him. He backhands it over to the sideboards. Malachi in the corner. He's trying to deke around a player. Gets it to Wessel. And Omaha throws it back to center ice, picked up by Brooks. Brooks goes off the boards to Smith, and it's tried to cover by the goalie, but he misses it. Brooks held in at the blue line by Spatansky, and then he gets run over with no puck. And they're going to call offsides on the Blues, I think. So the Blues have Spatansky, Wessel, Blanchard, Smith, and Brooks on the ice. Face off won by Omaha, back to the defense. They go off the boards, hit there by Brooks, and Spatansky chips it off the boards, back to the defense. Forecheck by Wessel. Spatansky holds it in at the blue line. He's got Blanchard. clincher with a backhand on net, and we've got a little fisticuffs after the save. Looks like we're going to have coincidental minors again. Blanchard for the Blues and number 10 for Omaha both get roughing minors. So we'll stay at 5-on-5. The Blues have Stefanski, Wessel, and Crowley out with Tomodaski and Miniman. Face off won by the Blues out to the point to Tomodaski. Over to Miniman, who swings it into the corner. Crowley's pinned to the boards. Wessel cut off. They throw it back behind the net, and Wessel is going to be the first to the puck. He and Crowley battle in the corner. Omaha comes away with it. Stefanski and Crowley get stick on puck. Comes out of the zone, and they're going to call the Blues for offside. Stefanski hadn't cleared the zone. New line on the ice for St. Louis is Hugner, Boyer, and Zilm with Miniman and Komdowski. Face off, won by the Blues back into their own zone. Komdowski will retreat to grab the puck, circles behind his net. He's under heavy pressure, gets it to Miniman, up the boards to Boyer. Boyer gets it stick checked away from him. Shot goes wide into the corner. Boyer, a big reverse hit. Guy thought he had Boyer lined up. Turns out he was wrong. He took the worst of that one. Hugner circles into his own zone to get the puck over to Komdowski, who will carry it up through center ice into the Omaha zone. Tries to come across to Zilm, and it's deflected back to Miniman. Tipped on net by Zilm, and save into the corner. Hugner spins off the hit, goes behind the net to Zilm, bounces off his stick. They try to come up to the point, bounces over Miniman. Good stick there by Komdowski. He goes back around his own net. Miniman will pick it up in the far corner. He pulls up, slams on the brakes, and gives it to Como. Como circles behind his own net. He's got two guys all over him. They take the puck away. Saved by Luke San Diego. Shoulder save, and he covers the puck. There is a really obnoxious Omaha fan who yells at every tiny little thing. Face off won by the Blues. Rubis goes around behind the net, drops it for Peterson. He tries to go up the boards to Bauer, held in on a pinch by the defense. Now Bauer up the ice to Bowers. He carries into the Omaha zone, but Bauer has crossed the blue line on the soft side. So the Blues have Crowley, Bauer, and Bowers with Peterson and Rubis on the ice. Crowley gets kicked out of the face-off, but the face-off is won into the Omaha zone. Bowers goes shoulder to shoulder with an Omaha guy. They both go down. Good hard forecheck here by the Blues. Puck goes into the corner. Bowers chases after it with Crowley. Goes to the far corner. Picked up there by Bauer. He goes to Peterson at the point, who carries, throws a shot towards the net, deflects behind the net. Omaha goes up the boards. Good stop there by Peterson. That play was offsides, but let go by the refs. Up to Bauer. He gets it out of the zone for the Omaha defense. And it's shot up the ice by Bowers. Schneider in on the forecheck. He's thrust onto the ice. Takes his guy. Rubis thought about going down to help. Thought better of it. Giorgio chases. He picks up the loose puck. Goes into the corner. Harris gets through his legs. Picked up by Schneider, who throws on the brakes. Tries to go up center. Finds Harris. Harris tries to go back forward to Giorgio and gets past him. Puck to Schneider, who goes to Rubis. Rubis with a shot. Caught by the Omaha goalie and held on. He was looking for a tip from Harris. Blues have Giorgio, Harris, Schneider, Smith, and Brooks on the ice. Face off won by Omaha. They go behind their net, reverse it into the corner, but nobody there. Picked up by Giorgio. He carries to the center of the ice, finds Brooks at the far point. He runs it around the boards over to Harris. Taken away from him. Good stick there by Schneider to knock it away. And they go cross ice and out of the zone. Thrown into the blue zone, not hard enough for icing. Picked up by Brooks. He goes up the wing to Harris. Harris spins and he's got speed into the Omaha zone. Has his head up looking for the center. He finds Smith at the top of the circle. That shot's deflected out of the zone. Smith will be the first one to get it. He goes up the boards to Giorgio. Giorgio takes a hit into the zone. Blanchard has Malachi. Malachi with a big shot. Locker saved and covered by the goalie. So an offensive zone face-off here for the Blues, who send out Stefanski, Blanchard, Wetzel, Miniman, and Tomadowski. Face-off is into the corner. Stefanski picks it up. He reverses behind the net. Nobody there, though. Wetzel with a good forecheck. Tries to retrieve the puck. It's held in by Tomadowski. Picked up by Blanchard. Como skates towards the net. He goes to Wessel. Wessel finds Blanchard. Blanchard with the goal. Posting in on a great shot by Blanchard. So Blanchard from Wessel and Tomadowski on the second goal. Blues take a 2-0 lead. 8:07 left in the second. Blues keep the same five on the ice. Puck's tied up at center ice. Back to the Blues defense. Como over to Miniman. He carries out of his own zone, crosses the red line, and dumps it deep. Blues will go in on the forecheck. Wessel tries to check his guy. The guy spins away from it. Kansky gets a stick on the puck, but it's carried out by Omaha. He was in offside. No call. Good play there from Como up to Wessel. He gets it to Blanchard. Blanchard tips it into the Omaha zone. The Blues have numbers here. Blanchard picks off that outlet in the corner. He's got two guys on him. It's picked up by Wessel. Wessel carries it. Tomadowski with a shot is blocked. Omaha is going to get a penalty here for tripping. Blues will go on power play. Blues will have Hubner, Boyer, and Zilm with Peterson and Rubis to start the power play here. Face-off tied up and carried out of the zone by Omaha. Hubner with a good job to separate him from the puck. Blues regroup in their own zone, get it over to Rubus, who crosses the red line, and he dumps it into the zone. Hugner and Zilm on it. They perimeter around the boards, held in. They try to get it out, and Hutch just barely gets out of the zone, so he's got to back out. Goes over to Peterson, who carries into the Omaha zone. He drops it for Boyer. Boyer over to Hugner. Hugner to Rubus at the point. And the goal is off. It's Mooring, so we got a face off to the goalie's left here. 50 seconds left in the power play. The Blues will change forward. Send out Giorgio Schneider and Harris. Rubis and Peterson will stay on the ice. Face off, tied off at the dot. Harris gets it up to Peterson, who shoots just high. Puck tried, almost held in by Rubis. Peterson goes into his own zone, gets it over to Rubis, who makes a move around one guy, makes a move around two guys, and he'll carry into the Omaha zone. The Blues will try to get set up here on the power play. Rubis at the point, goes over to Peterson, back to Rubis at the top of the umbrella. He'll take the space, shot on the net, no rebound. 18 seconds left on the power play. Full change here for the Blues, who send out Crowley, Bauer, and Bowers with Smith and Brooks. Face-off tied up. Omaha tries to tip it out of the zone, held in by Smith. And it's thrown back, held in by Smith again. Held in by Smith a third time. He gets it to Crowley. And this time they get it out, dump it past Brooks. It doesn't go deep enough for icing, and Omaha's killed the penalty. Brooks loses an edge. Puck goes into the corner. He takes a hit and gets it over to Malachi Smith. He comes up the boards to Bauer. Bauer to Crowley. Crowley to Bowers and gets past him. Rimmed around behind the net. Malachi Smith will pinch into the corner. He flings it around and it comes all the way out of the zone. Picked up by Brooks. He goes up the wing to Bowers. His backhanded dunk gets blocked. Omaha dumps it into the blue zone. Brooks goes over to Smith. Smith back to Brooks. Back to Smith as the Blues try to navigate up the ice. Finds Bowers, who gets it over to Bowers, tips into the zone, and Omaha maintains possession. They dump it into the blue zone. Miniman back to get it. He goes behind his net, chased by a forechecker, chased by a second forechecker. He goes up the ice, finds Wessel on the far wing. He's got Pansky with him, tried to get it to him, blocked by the defense. Puck still in the corner. That pass to the point blocked by Omaha. Pansky tries to get in there. He's with Blanchard and Wessel. Omaha clears the zone. Comes back to Miniman. Miniman to Komodowski. He makes a couple of moves. Finds Wessel in the neutral zone. The puck hot. There's a guy 10 feet into the zone. Should have been an easy offsides call, but was not called. Blues get the puck into the Omaha zone. Miniman pinches. Omaha comes out. They've got numbers here. Dumped into the zone. Pansky will go into the corner with an Omaha forward. Second guy comes in. Two Blues in the corner. They win the puck over to Komodowski. Up the wing to Wessel. Wessel goes far side to Switanski. He's got a step on his defender. Puts it just wide of the left post. Comes all the way around to Como. Then Omaha carries around their net. Puck held in at the blue line by Miniman. Hugner in on the forecheck. He's got Zilm with him. Another pinch by Miniman, and he's going to take a tripping penalty here. So the Blues will go back on the penalty kill. 2 minute or minute and a half minor for Minutemen tripping. Blues send out Giorgio and Zilm with Rubis and Peterson for the kill. Face off, won by Omaha, comes out to the point. Good stick there by Giorgio, deflects that shot up into the net. And we'll have a face off to Luke's right. Face off one again by Omaha. Up to the point. They go to the wing, who one times it towards the net. Saved by Luke. Rubis will pick up the puck, tries to clear, but it's held in at the blue line. Hit there by Rubis. There's two Blues on the middle boards trying to get the puck. Rubis has it tied up. Giorgio's there to help him. Pops loose. Point over to the far point. He spins it around the goal. Picked up in the corner by a forward. Good hit there by Rubis. Puck goes into the corner, and Peterson will fling it over to Zilm. Zilm tries to tip it by the pinching defenseman, can't get it around him. Omaha tries to center it, and Rubis will get the puck and throw it around the boards. It will go far enough for icing. So we'll have another face-off here to Scanpieco's right. Blues have Spatansky and Boyer with Brooks and Smith to kill the last 31 seconds of the penalty. Face off, won by Omaha. Go to the point, and it pops over the defenseman's stick. They go D to D, carry into the zone, but it once again pops off their stick, and Brooks shoots it the length of the ice, and that'll go for another icing. 17 seconds left in Minutemen's minor. No change in personnel. Conversation here by the refs. Who knows what they're talking about? Terrible face-off drop by this guy again. That puck is tipped by Spatansky up the ice to Boyer. He gets manhandled, no call. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Boyer should have been in on a breakaway, got tackled to the ground, no call. Now Brooks takes hands to the face, still no call on Omaha. The penalty has been killed. Minutemen's back on the ice. It's 5-on-5. Brooks has the puck in the corner. He tries to clear, gets stopped at the point. Spatansky blocks the shot. Minutemen picks up the puck. He goes up the boards to Spatansky. Spatansky gets it tipped off of his stick as he entered the zone. Blues are making a change. Got Harris, Giorgio, and Schneider on the ice with Smith and Brooks now. Smith carries into the zone. He finds Schneider. Schneider with a good shot. Pad saved by the goalie. Carries it behind, centers it through the crease. Nobody there. Omaha shoots it back to center ice, and Minutemen will gather at his own blue line. He goes up the center of the ice to Harris, who gets pinched off by two Omaha defenders. They reverse behind their own net, comes up the wing. Good back check there by Harris to pick off the puck. He's got another guy on him, gets taken down, and this one's going to get called. So Harris draws a holding minor, and the Blues are going to go back on the power play. Blues keep Giorgio, Schneider, and Harris on the ice with Minutemen and Kamenowski. Face off, won by the Blues. Tomadowski pinches in to grab possession. He goes behind the net to Schneider over to Harris at the wing. He maintains possession. Held in over to Miniman. Miniman circles to Tomadowski. Tomadowski shot towards the net, and it's caught and held by the goalie.
Whoa! 60. One six.
Same personnel. Face off, stuck at the dot. Back to the point to Tomadowski. He goes to Miniman. Miniman gets it over to Harris. He tries to go to Giorgio at the bumper, and Omaha picks it off and threw it out of his own. Into the second period, 2-0 Blues.
Oh, they are.
We are going to have a scrape, so we'll see you in 15 minutes. All right, come back from the intermission. The Blues will start the third period with 53 seconds left on the power play. They will have Spatansky, Wessel, and Blanchard with Rubis and Peterson to start the period. 2-0 Blues. Face off won by St. Louis. Wessel goes to Rubis over to Peterson. He'll circle back into his own zone. Then the Blues will break out. He finds Wessel. Wessel circles. Goes back to Peterson. Peterson to Wessel and his skates and all the way back deep into the Blue zone. Wessel carries behind his net. He goes over to Rubis, and Rubis goes up ice. It's a move around one. He finds Wessel on the near boards. Gains the line. Goes to Peterson at the point. Down to Blanchard. Back up to Peterson. He goes over to Rubis. Hops on him. And Omaha is coming down short-handed. Saved by Santiago. And Peterson will circle behind his own net as the Blues break up the ice at the end of the power play. Tipped into the zone by Wessel. Spatansky on the forecheck. He tipped it to Wessel. Wessel tries to center it. Stops in Omaha's skates. They clear the zone. Tipped back by Blanchard to Wessel. Wessel with speed tries to carry it into the zone. It gets tipped off of his stick. Blues get it out of their zone. Thrown back in offsides. Not called though. And Brooks will tip it out of the zone. Boyer in on the forecheck with speed. They just get rid of it. Goes to Brooks. He flings it back into the Omaha zone. Boyer with heavy pressure behind the net. They reverse. Good stick there by Zilm. He takes a late hit. Puck goes behind the net. Good pinch there by Smith. Held in at the point by Feudner. He throws it towards the net. It gets the puck to the sideboards and up and out of the Omaha zone. Uh-oh, here they are in. Another good save by Luke. Ooh, Boyer had a chance to pick there. Great step up by Feudner. Knocks his man to the ice on the dump. Puck's picked up by Malachi Smith. He outlets up to Boyer at the wing, who dumps it into the Omaha zone and goes for a change. Omaha circles behind their net, goes D to D and back, and then back to the corner as the Blues are changing. Here comes Bowers on the forecheck. He's with Bauer. Puck picked up by Komodowski. He finds Miniman. Miniman to Crowley, who takes a hit at center ice and loses the puck. Miniman's got it. He finds Bowers. Bowers picks up the puck. He's got some room. Backhand pass. Tries to find Crowley. It's out of his reach. Puck comes from Miniman at the point. He throws it into the corner. Picked up by Bowers. He goes to Crowley. Pass Bowers to Komodowski. Picked up. Blues have it in the corner. Bowers Bauer to Bowers, and it's poked off his stick. Omaha clears the zone. They throw it all the way down the ice, but it's on goal, and Luke will cover for the faceoff. Blues send out Giorgio, Harris, and Schneider with Miniman and Komodowski. Draws one clean by Giorgio back behind his own net. Komodowski carries. Goes to Miniman. Miniman up to Giorgio. Crosses the center line into the Omaha zone. Still has possession of the puck. Out to the point to Komodowski. He goes to Miniman. Miniman shot towards the net. Goes just wide. Back to Komodowski. He finds Miniman again, who dumps it into the corner behind the net to Schneider. Schneider to Harris. Back up to the point to Miniman. He'll take space. Shot towards the net. And it's caught by the Omaha goalie. Blues will change defense here. Same forwards, but with Peterson and Rubis in the offensive zone. Face off won by Omaha into the corner. Clearing attempt. Fumbles off The stick shot on net by Rubis is once again caught and held on by the goalie. Face off won by Omaha behind the net. Pops in front and is smothered by the goalie. We'll have another face off to his left. Same personnel. Face off, tied up. Schneider comes away with it behind the net. He's got it on his backhand. Tries to center it. Nobody there. Omaha breaks out, dumped into the blue zone. Peterson goes behind the net to get it. He rims it all the way around. Schneider tried to tip it out, held in at the blue line by Omaha into the corner. They've got a guy behind the net. Great hit there by Peterson. Separates him from the puck. Rubis flips it out of the zone. And Omaha maintains possession back in their own zone. They break out up the center of the ice. Good stick by Stefanski to slow him down. Rubis separates from the puck. Stefanski gets the puck. He goes up to Blanchard. Blanchard can't get it out. That puck's blocked by Stefanski, who bites it in the meantime. Peterson picks it up in the corner. That hops by, and here comes Wessel. He's got a 2-on-1 with Blanchard. Great backhand sauce. And Blanchard gets taken out into the net. And we are not going to get another penalty. So evidently, when we have numbers, they can do whatever they want from behind with no penalties called. Blues will have a face-off in the offensive zone. Stefanski, Wessel, and Blanchard with Brooks and Smith. Face-off won by Omaha. They rim it around the boards again. It's all the way down. They're going to wave off icing for some reason. Brooks behind his net to get the puck. Over to Smith. Smith up the wing to Wessel. He takes a hit. Puck bounces into the zone, and they are going to call that one offsides. Blues will send out a new forward line with Hugner, Bauer, Hugner, Zilm, and Boyer. Brooks and Smith stay on the ice. All sides on the Blues again. Face off, won by the Blues this time. Brooks is going to flip it high into the Omaha zone. And they'll rim it back around the net. Held in by Hugner. He flings it around the net. Zilm and Boyer on the forecheck. A pinch there by Smith, and it's tipped around him. Hugner with good coverage, though, and Omaha breaks in. 3-on-2. Shot saved by Scantiaco. Goes into the corner. Omaha maintains possession. Good job there by Smith to separate a man from the puck. Tries to chip it up, and it hops past. Zilm gets hooked. No call again. The ref was looking right at it. Stick up in the hands of Zilm. Good pass there by Boyer. Finds Hugner. He throws it to the center, and it's tipped up over the glass by the goalie's stick. Blues have Crowley, Bauer, and Bowers with Komodowski and Miniman. Face off won by Crowley. Miniman flings it towards the net. Goalie never really had possession of it, but the whistle was blown, and we'll have a face off to his left. Won by the Blues. Bauer to Miniman into the corner behind the net. Crowley gets pinched off. Bauer is with him. His stick's being held quite obviously, but once again, no call. Bowers tips it into the corner. Wing Up to the center, misses him, and it goes all the way down for icing. Crowley, Bauer, and Bowers with Tomodaski and Miniman. Offensive zone face off to the left of the goalie. Face off won by Crowley. Bauer goes back to Miniman. He goes to Bauer. Bauer to Tomodaski. Back to Miniman. Back to Bauer. He goes behind the net. Picked up on the near boards by Bowers. He tries to go to Miniman. He gets blocked. Picked up by Bauer. He circles. Bowers picks it up, goes to Tomodaski. Back to the corner to Bowers, who maintains possession, throws it out front. No blues there, and it's picked off. Good stick check there by Crowley, though. Bowers has the puck. He finds Miniman, and it comes outside the zone for offsides. Giorgio, Harris, and Schneider on with Peterson and Rubis now. Puck's turned and thrown out of the zone. Flung deep by the Blues, and it goes all the way behind the Omaha net. Low rimmed around the boards, held up by a forward. Giorgio picked off by Harris. He's got Schneider with him, far post. Tries to go to Giorgio, and it's picked off. Omaha comes up the ice. They find the winger on the far wing. Good stick there by Rubis. He's held up by an Omaha skater. Here comes Schneider on forecheck. Takes out his man. Peterson at the point, back to Giorgio. Giorgio maintains possession, hands it off to Peterson. Giorgio will come back to cover the point. They find Schneider. Oh, Schneider takes a hit from behind into the boards. Again, no call. Wessel's on the ice. He tries to hit Rubis cutting back door. Rubis takes a hit and throws it behind. Wessel's tied up with two Omaha players. He's got Giorgio with him. Puck goes behind the net. Blanchard pressures there. Hit by Rubis. Picked up by Peterson. He looks for Wessel at the far boards. Wessel circles. Puck's knocked off of his stick back into the blue zone. He goes to Rubis. Rubis goes to Switanski, breaking up the left wing. He's got some space. Shot saved by the goalie. It's loose in front of the crease. Brooks comes. His shot goes just wide. Lots of sticks in there. Nobody could get a piece of it. Rimmed around the boards, coming up near boards, picked off by Brooks. Brooks throws it towards the net, and it's pushed out by Omaha into the blue zone. Puck will not go deep enough for icing. Picked up by Malachi Smith. He's taken off the puck. Wessel has it, picks it up. He tries to backhand it out of the zone, and it's picked off. Wessel picks it back up, tries to carry through the neutral zone, and he's knocked off his stick again. Omaha shoots it deep, and Malachi Smith will go behind his net. He flings it up to Wessel, and that was a rocket at Wessel's chest, so that puck goes all the way down the ice for icing. Blues will send out a new forward line with Hubner, Zellman, Boyer. Brooks and Smith stay out on defense. Face off won by Hubner into the corner. He rims it around to Boyer at the near wing. Boyer chips it up the ice, tries to find zone. It's out of his reach. Omaha throws it to the red line, brought into the zone by Smith as he takes a hit, clearing attempt. Oh, Zilm gets rocked in the Omaha zone. Good job there by Brooks to break up the centering pass. They throw another one towards the front of the net. That's picked up by Hubner. He goes up the ice to Boyer. Boyer beats his defenseman. Keeps the puck. It's into the corner for Hubner. Their defenseman doesn't know where the puck's at. He comes in and tries to hit Hubner. Pinch here by Kamadoski, keeps it in. He shoots, blocker saved by the goalie. Zone tries to get possession behind the net. Omaha tries to break out, and it's in the guy's skates, comes all the way into the blue zone, picked up by Kamadoski. He skates, tries to drop it to Miniman. Saved by Scanapieko. Puck is loose, flung out of the zone and off of the Omaha defenseman's stick. No icing. Good forecheck by Bowers. He's tied up in the corner. He and Bauer fight for the puck. Bowers gets the puck, throws a shot towards the net. It gets blocked. Caught. Ooh, Bauer with a good shot goes just wide, and it comes all the way around. Omaha breaks out of the zone. They're in offsides. Pad save from Scanapieko. Here come the Blues, 3-on-2. Crowley, Bauer, and Bowers. The Bauer shot saved by the goalie. Rebound popped right out in front of the crease, popped over Bauer's stick. Omaha retreats behind their own net. They swing it out to the point. It's held in there by Rubis. He throws it behind the net to Bowers, tries to center it to Crowley, and it's thrown around the boards. Rubis throws it towards the net, blocked by a defender. They throw it back up the boards, pinched by Peterson. Three Omaha players run into each other. Peterson maintains possession. He goes to Rubis. Back to Peterson, who's got loads of space. Shot, pad save. Schneider gets it back to Peterson. That puck hits Giorgio into flush on net. Saved by the goalie. Omaha breaks out. Good stick there by Schneider. Causes them to throw it all the way down the ice for icing. 3:31 left in the third period. Blues will have an offensive zone faceoff for Giorgio, Harris, and Schneider. Peterson and Rubis on defense. Giorgio wins it clean to Peterson. He goes over to Rubis. Rubis will throw a shot towards the net. That puck's deflected just wide. Two Blues behind the net. It's thrown out to the point. Rubis will pick it up, throw it towards the net again. Comes out to the boards. Omaha throws it down into the blue zone. Peterson wins the race, tips it over to Rubis. Rubis circles back behind his own net. Comes up the wing to Harris. Their defenseman thought about pinching. Now he knocks down the clearing attempt by Harris. Rubis picks up the loose puck, goes to Giorgio. It rolls off his stick. Puck shot high and wide by Omaha. Giorgio to Blanchard. Blanchard got Harris streaking up the center of the ice. He loses an edge, goes into the boards with the puck. Blanchard's with him. Spatansky's in the slot. Harris still fighting for the puck. He gets possession. He's being held, gets dragged to the ice again. No call. Omaha ringing around. Comes to the near point for Brooks. Brooks throws it into the corner and around the net. Wingers is changing though. Wessel picks up the puck at the point. Goes off the crossbar as the goalie just whiffed on it. And it's chopped over the boards, and we'll have another offensive zone faceoff. Blues will have Spatansky, Wessel, and Planter with Brooks and Smith. 2:12 left with a 2-0 lead. Omaha wins the faceoff. They go behind their net to the far boards. Wessel will check there. Swung back around the net into the near corner. Blanchard puts a hit on the winger. He throws it into the blue zone. Malachi Smith picks it up. Goes off Spatansky's ankle. Can't maintain possession. Good job by Smith there to break it up. Wessel backhanded out of the zone to Spatansky. He dumps it into the Omaha zone. Wessel and Blanchard are on the forecheck. Picked off by Spatansky. He loses the puck, and Omaha breaks out of the zone. They carry it in, and a goal. 27. Waited for some traffic to go by and perfect shot in the far corner. 2-1 Blues. Timeout for Omaha. 1:24 left in the third. What's that? Blues will send out Hugner, Boyer, and Zilm with Tomadowski and Miniman. Face off won by Omaha back to the point. They go D to D. Try to dump it. Blocked by Boyer. Picked off at the boards by Tomadowski. He throws it up the ice and it's deflected, so no icing. Omaha's goalie was going to go to the bench. Had to retreat. Their defenseman tries to carry out. Dumped deep by Miniman. Boyer in on the forecheck. He's going to try to hold it there in the corner. He gets pushed to the ice. Hugner's down there with him. Takes a cross check in the back. Another cross check in the back. .2 seconds left. Looks like we're going to get a penalty call here. Nope, maybe not. So same five on the ice for the Blues. 49.2 seconds left. Face off, won by St. Louis. Hugner throws it on net. Zilm with a good forecheck pushes their big defenseman behind the net. He's got the puck, rims it up the ice. It's picked off by Miniman. He's got to wait. Oh, no, he throws it back out of the reach of Tomadowski, who flings it down the ice. Omaha's goalie has gone to the bench. Puck hits some snow and doesn't go far enough for icing. 16 seconds left as Omaha looks to break up the ice. Tomadowski picks off the outlet pass. He's got the puck, takes a hit to the face. No call. Hit by a high stick. They break into the zone 4-on-1. And the buzzer goes. Scanapieko with a huge pad save at the end of the game. Blues will win 2-1. Blues not real happy with Omaha shooting the puck into the net after the buzzer's gone off. So that'll do it for game one. 2-1 win for the Blues.